All right, we are going to get started with our post-race press conference here this evening. Throw Sugar 400 at Daytona and the final race before the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. We are now joined by our race winning crew chief, Todd Gordon. Todd, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on that victory. Last week when Ryan won, you made a comment on the radio about him getting you one more win, but now you can add this one to that tally as well.
Yeah, I never said last one. It's just one more, right? Really cool to come back to Daytona and win with Ryan here. It's been a while. Victory lane in 15 at the 500 with Joey, and Ryan and Josh did a tremendous job of again manipulating the end of the race and making the right moves and trying to take the runs from where we could. We had a car that could take pushes and paid off in the long run. There were some challenges through the day because just some of the just raw speed that we didn't have, but we could race really well. So really proud of the effort that everybody put into this, and especially Josh Williams, the spotter, and Ryan working together. They're really getting this communication piece of how to race these plate races down, and I look forward to what we do going forward.
All right, we'll now take questions for Todd. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We're going to try to get to as many questions as we can this evening. And to kick us off, we're going to start with Rob. Go ahead, Rob, with your question.
Hey, Todd. Rob Tiongson from the podiumfinish.net. Congratulations on win number 3 of the year. First question's a little bit lighthearted. Are you sure you want to retire at the end of the season with the way your season's going now?
Yeah, my boss said that in Victory Lane. You sure? Yeah, I still I'm still looking forward to what the next chapter brings. I'm not sure what that is, but a great run, and I hope that it would be awesome to cap this thing off with victories on through the playoffs and into Phoenix. So that's the goal.
Absolutely. My last question is, when you consider your amazing journey in NASCAR and with Team Penske, what are some of the virtues and qualities from Team Penske that you're going to bring with you for the rest of your life?
I think the biggest thing is it's and Roger leads with moral dignity and respect for people. He talks about the human capital and trying to make put great people in positions that they can be successful. And there's just so much attention to detail throughout the organization. And whenever you walk into one of Roger's businesses, you'll see that, and it's carried all through. And it's one that we get a coin every year, and it leads to what he's about, and he says effort equals results. And it's something that I think a motto that is worth it, and something that really speaks for what Team Penske is about. And attention to details and putting great people together. And it's been a great run, and one I've been blessed to be a part of.
Certainly. Well, congratulations, Todd. Best of luck going into the NASCAR playoffs.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question will come from Aaron England. Go ahead, Aaron.
Thank you. Thanks, Todd. Congratulations. It's been no secret Brad's really been the leader amongst the drivers at Penske for some time. With him on his way out and Ryan with getting all of these victories as of late, and a tremendous amount of respect from his other drivers. Can you talk about the leadership role he may have moving forward with Team Penske?
Yeah, I think Team Penske is in a great position. I think Ryan is growing into being a championship contender. I think we've got that ability in front of us in the next 10 races. I can't wait to get going on it. Look forward to taking this momentum we have into the Southern 500. And I think I've gotten to work with both Ryan and Joey, and I think both of them are great people, and very good for the sport. So I look for Team Penske to have a lot of influence, in the Ford camp and leadership from that standpoint for both of them. And we've got Austin Cindric coming on up and in the Cup next year in the 2-car. And I've talked a fair amount with Austin. I look for I think he's got a great work ethic, and he's a thinker. And so I look for this organization and these 3 teams to continue to push the package forward and have a lot of impact on our sport.
Thanks, Todd.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Jim Utter. Go ahead, Jim.
Congratulations, Todd. Obviously, you guys knew you were coming into the playoffs before these last 2 weeks. But after what's transpired these last 2 weeks, how does your perspective change going in as you vaulted up into the second seed?
Yeah, I didn't know we made it that far, but that's part of the things that we talked about was, it's how do we gain more playoff points? How do we get ourselves a couple more spots and points, and take advantage of the situations that are out there? And we talked today, and actually, the engineer of the 17 and myself are pretty good friends, and we had the conversation today about what happens if we're in this position at the end. It's kind of eerie that we had this particular conversation, and I told him, I said, I'll work with you. We'll work with you all we can, but we got to race for the win because last year we didn't have bonus points didn't have that many bonus points going into the playoffs, and we had a setback in the first race and then struggled through the second one, and we didn't make it out of the first round. So that's been a focus for us, is not only to make momentum, but to get our points position where we can start off the playoffs where we want to. And we knew that, a good starting position, a good pit selection at Darlington was going to be a product of what tonight's finish is. So I thought Josh and Ryan did a phenomenal job of manipulating the end of it. I thought that, the Ford strategy of short pitting and hoping that a caution came out before everybody else came put us in a great position. There's a little luck to that, but there's also some kind of calculated risk of knowing that cautions happen and you want to be ahead of them. We've been on the backside of that before with our long pitting strategy. So pretty proud of everybody at Ford working together with that piece and playing into our hands and then being able to put ourselves in position to capitalize.
And while there have been many new venues and races this season, the playoff 10 races are pretty familiar. How do you feel you guys stack up?
Well, I feel great about it. And Ryan and I talked about this last year, is we felt like the first round was our weakest round. And just because he didn't have a whole lot of confidence at Darlington and Richmond. And in the spring of this year, we made a focus out of making those racetracks better, and finished 8th at Darlington after hitting the wall, racing Denny. And I felt like we could run 5th to 8th all day long. Probably could have finished 5th if I didn't get him too loose there the last run. Had a really solid run there, and I look forward to building that momentum into the race this weekend and seeing what the pavement of turn 2 has done to how we race around that place. That's going to be interesting for everybody, with a lot of grip added to, basically from the center of 1 and 2 to exit of 2. So it'll race differently than we saw in the spring, but I felt like we've made the turn there and had a great run there. And we had really good pace at Richmond. We got kind of buried back a little bit and went to trying to run a stage out and where everybody else pitted and split it, and ended up burying ourselves there. But we had really, really good pace there, and I look forward to both those races. And I mean, Bristol's a place that, the Bristol night race I've won a couple of times, and Ryan's had a ton of speed there. So I feel great about that round. I feel they get better as they go on. I think, you look at the next round, Talladega, a place that, we've won here, we've won there before, another place that we can run well. The Roval he's won at. I look forward to that. Last year we had good pace at the Roval and got in the water and got spun out. But it's again another great round for us. And Vegas out there is a place that we've had a lot of speed. So and then you go into round 3, and I feel great about that one as well. So I look forward to our opportunities of carrying ourselves through the playoffs and get to Phoenix.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take a question from Tucker White. Go ahead, Tucker.
Thank you. Todd, this probably is a better question to answer to ask Ryan, but from your position on the pit box, what difference did you really see with the restrictor plate package compared to what we ran at Daytona and Talladega earlier this season?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the biggest thing, we took a fair amount of power away, and we took some drag away with the wicker off the rear spoiler. But I thought what you saw, I mean, from the pit box, what I saw is the runs weren't as big as they used to be. And they were, because the pace is a little slower, they were manageable. And you saw at times that a car could get out front and kind of control both lines just by taking the bubble pushes off both of them, where where, and it reminded me more of, back when we had the 400 rear springs and, the package that we had for several years through the early teens, where a lot of side-by-side racing, and, you could still get together and push for a little bit. You get a lap or so out of it, but then it would break and you'd have runs from either line, but they weren't big enough that they'd cause big wrecks. I didn't feel like. So kudos to NASCAR. I think we made speedway racing back manageable as a race car driver, and I'd be curious to see what Ryan says about it. But I felt like we slowed the closing rate that we had with big power and big drag. Just it created some really, really big wrecks, and I think we've got it back where we still run side by side, and it's more manageable.
All right, thank you.
All right, Jim, did you have a follow-up question? All right, I do not believe so. All right.
No, I'm good. I'm sorry.
You're good. No problem, Jim. Thanks for checking. All right, Todd, congratulations again. Thank you for joining us, and we wish you the best of luck in the playoffs.
Thank you.